Hello.
Hi.
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. We're back to answer a question. This time from a Dom. Thank you, Doms, for writing in with your questions. We appreciate it. This time we're talking with, I don't know, a Dom who's like, maybe I don't want to make a decision. So maybe we can help.
Yeah.
So this is another week where the question is short and to the point.
All right.
I wish we could be that way, but oh well.
Speak for yourself.
Question is, what should you do if you're a Dom who doesn't want to take the lead all the time and make all the decisions? What say you, Dom, who has literally looked at me and gone, I cannot make another decision today.
Yeah. Decision overload.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. You know, a number of different things come to mind, of course. Obviously, you know, yeah, it does kind of hit close to home because, you know, there's sometimes life just is what it is, and man, it can be overwhelming, and you're just like, enough is enough. I can't, stop the ride. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know, and the other thing that kind of jumped out at me when I first heard the question, when you told me about it, you know, doesn't want to be in charge all the time. Maybe needs to explore. Might have a little bit of a switch going on there.
Sure.
You know.
The question I guess to ask yourself is it that I can't or don't want to make decisions right now, and or would I want somebody else to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I would think, you know, just from my own experience, that there are going to be times in life when you feel that way. Mm-hmm. All right. And it happens. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt, as you said. Mm-hmm. You know, but I think that also has to come with a lot of communication there.
Right. I don't think that's something you bottle up, because your submissive's going to figure it out fairly quickly at some point,
right.
At least, that either you're not making decisions or you're delaying making decisions, or how you are, your attitude, your demeanor around making decisions is going to be different. I mean, that's just kind of how it is for most of us. If we're doing something we don't really want to be doing in the moment, you know, we put out I almost want to say aura, but there's sort of a way. There's you know, a tone of voice. There's a facial expressions. There's body language that can make it clear to some people that, oh, maybe they don't want to be doing this. So if you're feeling that way, you got to talk to your partner for sure. Yeah,
you know, there had been times with, you know, us where had to put our DS on hiatus. Mm-hmm. Just because there were things in life going on that were just too overwhelming, and that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
Well, and you know, the times we had to do that, I didn't stop being the submissive.
No, you didn't.
What happened was JB was going through some stuff and said, "Look, I do not have it in me to make decisions, to tell you what needs to be done." And essentially he said, I trust you to know how to handle things. Just do what needs to be done. You know, I'll back you on something if you need to make a decision. Mm-hmm. I'll let you know when I can kind of get back in that game. And that conversation happened after it was when you were still working your big boy job.
Yeah.
And you came home, and we were in the middle of a lot of things going on at the time. But you came home, and all I asked was, what would you like for a drink with your dinner? And he turned on a dime and went, I literally cannot make any more decisions. And that led to the conversation of, okay, I'm tapped out. There's too much else going on. Life is too stressful right now. But I still did the things that I had always said that I would do as the submissive. And so if that is an option in your power exchange, keep that going, you know, especially if you can empower your submissive to do what they know needs to be done. That can give you the break that you need. The other thing that we do, JB does not manage every moment of every day around here. Like, that doesn't work for either of our personalities.
Right.
And while that does work for some power exchange folks, and that's great for them, there are plenty of us who are like, no, just tell me what I need to do, and I'm going to get on with doing it. So for us, we negotiated our power exchange, for me to understand there are certain tasks that I do daily and or as needed. JB does not remind me of them. JB does not follow up with me. When life is like okay, he'll follow up if he sees it's not done. But if he were in a moment in time where he could not do that, his mental health just would not allow it, it's my responsibility to get it done or not. But I like knowing what I need to do and then kind of being left alone to do it. Another thing that we do, JB does not have to think of everything that needs a decision made around here. A lot of the time it's me realizing a decision needs to be made and I go to the decider. That may be an alternative way of approaching dominance that is it can get overwhelming on a moment in time when there are a lot of decisions that need to be made. But on like our average day, I'm coming to you for like two things. Like, here, we could do this or we could do that. Which do you want, right? And the burden, the mental load I take off of JB is I've done the research. I know that he will either likely be okay with either choice, or he knows he doesn't have to go searching around for more options. This is it. I'm going to give you
right?
the Cliff's Notes version. Oh, God, that shows how old I am. The Sparks Notes version of each one. Tell me
Pick
which
one.
way you're leaning, right?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Right. And when things are going okay, that's an easy ask. Anything that is going to require more time and focus and attention, or there's going to be a lot more decisions to be made, we're going to set a time to plan that.
Yeah.
Business decisions are like that. When we want to drastically shift something in our personal life that requires different changes, we will set time aside where we know we're going to give that mental energy to that, and it doesn't have to be part of the daily give and take as dom and sub. So yeah, I do agree with you from the very beginning. Like, go do some inner work and then some outward investigation on maybe you've got some submissive energy there that you need to explore,
or at the very least some bottom energy,
something, right? Like, maybe there's you want to go the other way for a while, and there's nothing wrong with that. But also, is it that you have been led to believe through whatever that the dom has to always be on, always be making decisions, always tell a sub what they should be doing all the time? Again, some people love that. They thrive under it. Some people, we are those people. No, that will not work for our life. And that's okay to adjust your power exchange that way.
I mean, we consider ourselves 24/7. And yet I do not micromanage her.
No, that would never work.
and that's something that we discussed early on up front. To micromanage someone, that is not what I want in a relationship. Even a DS. I know I can trust Kayla to give her, her tasks. There's things that need to be done, and she's going to do it.
Yep. So it goes back to, you've got to communicate with your partner. If you're actively in a relationship and you're feeling like, control, power, decision making, it's overwhelming. It could be that you're just doing too much of it. It could be, depending, you don't indicate in your question, how new is this? Did you do that very common thing of went from 0 to 60 in about 2 seconds? You went from I'm not at all in a power exchange to I'm doing all of the power exchange things all at once on day one. That's going to create overwhelm probably for everybody involved. So kind of step back and take a look at what is happening when this feeling comes up. What's happening, and get realistic with yourself. What is happening outside of your relationship? What's happening in your professional life? What's happening in your personal life outside of the relationship? Do you have some family stuff going on? Do you have some money stuff going on? Do you have extra stress that is weighing on you? And we know from firsthand experience, when JB's mental health is in the tank, when it is not good, he's not equipped to make decisions in the same way as when he's mostly steady, right?
And then there could be also a thing, you say if the person is new at being dominant, could be it's somebody who has actually been doing this for a while, And we talked about it once before, decision fatigue.
Oh, yes. I'll try to link that in the places. If that resonates, decision fatigue, yeah. That can be a very real thing. And it can lead to things like burnout. Even if you're happy with your relationship, you're happy with your partner, but the way you set up your relationship is not currently serving you, you know, and there's also something to be said for there have been periods in our relationship where I've needed to lean on JB as my dom more than other times. That leaning more cannot, for us at least, be indefinite. That's too much.
Yeah.
So are you currently in a period of life with a partner where they've needed you more, and maybe they don't really need to lean that hard right now, but y'all just haven't talked about it and done a reset, right? So the big thing, and did we say it at the beginning? I hope so. The big thing I want to leave anybody that this resonates with is that it is okay to feel this way. This is not a feeling that means you're a bad dominant, or you're not really a dominant, or you've done something wrong. Not at all. You are not the only person as a dominant to ever feel this way. You're not the first, and you will not be the last. I do think it needs to be talked about more. I think that dominants of all genders sort of have this expectation, both of themselves and from partners, that you are supposed to always be strong and in charge and ready to go. And I as a submissive can throw a question at you and you are ready to take it on, whatever it is. And when things are going well, that can very well be true, but dominants are humans like everybody else, and you're gonna have times when things are harder, for all kinds of reasons.
And this kind of goes along the same line too. A number of years ago, you never heard anybody talk about dom drop.
No, it was like it didn't exist.
Yeah,
which is so stupid.
Everybody talked about sub drop. But not much was ever said about dom drop.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I don't know. I don't have any more words of wisdom beyond, just think about the circumstances that have led up to how you feel. It could be all of these things. It could be something that we just don't have enough experience to have dreamt of. Don't be afraid to explore other desires and urges if the idea of switching in some way, speaks to you on a level. It does not make you any less dominant at all.
No.
But if that does not resonate at all, take a look at how you've got things set up, what's going on in your life, how your power exchange is set up, what is being asked of you as a dominant, and get really honest and really clear about what you feel like you can handle, either permanently or temporarily. We've been together, over 10 years. This year will be 12 years technically that we've known one another. That's so weird. And I think in all of that time, twice you've made it clear that you needed to, you had to step back.
Yeah.
And other times where I just kind of understood what was happening in your life, and I did what I could to ease the burden. And then, quite frankly, there have been times that between the two of us, we're doing our absolute bare minimum that we are okay, this helps us still feel like dom sub, and it's a bottom floor bare level, bare minimum. And we don't love it. We don't want to be there long term, but sometimes that's just how it is, and that's
what it
okay.
is.
So you're definitely not alone, and you're not somehow a bad dom or not really a dom. Just go explore what's bringing up these feelings and see if there's something you can modify in your life.
There you go.
So JB's not the only one to have gone through this. We are not the only ones to have had this happen in our power exchange. If you have, as a dom or sub, experienced this, feel free to share the things you've learned, the things you've done to help yourself, down in the comments below. If you enjoy this, we love a thumbs up. If you like it enough to want to come back for more, please consider subscribing.
And do that. Go ahead and ring that notification bell to get updates and new content.
Just do what Daddy says. I find that life is easier when I do what Daddy says. If you really like what we do, want to help us do more of it, and get access to a Discord server with a bunch of kinksters, extra video, extra podcast, extra live stream every month, you can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Kayla Lords. That's patreon.com/Kayla Lords. Lola agrees.